Shocking films by Vedika can't kick before you. Motion pictures Vedika can't share. Tweet email Reddit print share. Tweet email Reddit print. The broadcast of Pakistani television shows in India over the last few years and their broad popularity has meant that Indian audiences are well acquainted with the country's superiority over India in the genre. No one can seriously claim that Indian soap operas are any match for the more interesting, not to mention taut, plot lines of Pakistani television, but equally no one would claim that Pakistan's film industry is capable of competing with the scale and diversity of Indian cinema. Ironically, it is the lack of any real film infrastructure that has made Pakistan's television industry its primary playground for dramatic entertainment. So when it comes to films, it's unsurprising that it is Bollywood that the dreamy television stars from Pakistan Fawad Khan and Mihira Khan have turned to in the past. Could things be changing? Perhaps, if one was to go by the example of the recently released film Cake. When it was released last month, Cake became the first Pakistani film to be premiered at Leicester Square in London. The directorial debut by Asim Abbasi, who also wrote the screenplay, is unconventional in that it doesn't follow the tried-and-tested formula familiar to film viewers in the subcontinent. At the heart of the story is a family drama, akin to the dynamics explored in the recent past by films such as Pika and Kapoor and Sons. In Cake, the core of the story revolves around two sisters. Zareen, played by Amina Sheikh, who will be familiar as Ayman to viewers of the show Mayat, supports her eccentric parents in Pakistan, while her sibling Zara, played by Sanam Saeed, who was Kashaf in Zindagi Gulzar Hai, pursues her life with a busy career and troubled marriage abroad. A medical emergency is the catalyst for a reunion, bringing up long-held resentments and unveiling carefully hidden secrets. Cake. What makes Cake work are the carefully sketched characters. The relationship between Zareen and Zara is the centerpiece, but a stellar ensemble cast rounds up the film. The eccentric parents, played by Mohammed Ahmed and a crackling BEO Rana Zafar, an elder brother, Faris Khalid, who also lives abroad and has to balance his duties as a prodigal son with the demands of his wife, and the Christian nurse Romeo, a wonderfully understated Adnan Malik, add to the complex dynamics the film explores. Much has been made of the strong female characters in Cake. Viewers of Pakistani television shows will know that this is not an anomaly. But Cake is striking and joyful to watch because of how fully inked its female protagonists are. Sheikh and Saeed are both excellent, and their relationship, by turns fractious, antagonistic, tender and loving, is truly the beating heart of the film. Unlike the Punjabi settings of much of the drama that comes out of Pakistan, the background in Cake is Sindh, and the regional nuances and rhythms add amply to the movie's atmosphere. Cake eschews set-piece song and dance routines, but has a glorious soundtrack produced by the sketches. On viewing, it is not hard to see why Abbasi chose the name Cake for the film. During an interaction with the audience following the premiere, Sanam Saeed spelled it out, saying that the movie, like Cake, was made of many layers. It looks one way from the outside and is different inside once you cut a slice. It's a simplistic analogy, but one that holds up well for the movie. Like a good cake, it makes you want to go back for a second helping. Meri Dunya, Cake. Support our journalism by subscribing to Scroll Here. We welcome your comments at letters@scroll.in. Pakistani film Cake. Amina Sheikh Sanam Saeed. Sponsored content by published April 17, 2018 7:12 p.m. Share tweet email Reddit print share tweet email Reddit print. Sportspersons are known for their superhuman discipline, single-minded determination and the will to overcome all obstacles. Biographies, films and documentaries have brought to the fore the behind-the-scenes reality of the sporting life. Being up at the crack of dawn, training without distraction, facing injuries with a brave face and recovering to fight for victory are scenes commonly associated with sportspersons. Racers are no different. Behind their daredevilry lies the same history of dedication and discipline. Cornering on a sports bike or revving up sand dunes requires the utmost physical endurance, and racers invest heavily in it. It helps stave off fatigue and maintain alertness and reaction time. It also helps them get the most out of their racecraft, the entirety of a racer's skill set, to which years of training are dedicated. Racecraft begins with something as simple as sitting on a racing bike. The correct stance is the key to control and maneuver the bike. Riding on a track, tarmac or dirt is a great deal different from riding on the streets. A momentary lapse of concentration can throw the rider into a career-ending crash. Physical skill and endurance apart, racers approach a race with the same analytical rigor as a student appearing in an exam. They conduct an extensive study of not just the track, but also everything around it: trees, marshal posts, tire marks, etc. It's these reference points that help the racer make braking or turning decisions in the frenzy of a high-stakes competition. The inevitability of a crash is a reality every racer lives with, and seeks to internalize this during their training. In the immediate aftermath of the crash, racers are trained to keep their eyes open to help the brain make crucial decisions to avoid collision with other racers or objects on the track. Racers that meet with accidents can be seen sliding across the track with their heads held up, in a bid to minimize injuries to the head. But racecraft is, of course, only half the story. Racing as a profession continues to confound many, and racers have been traditionally misunderstood. Why would anyone want to pour their blood, sweat and tears into something so risky? Where do racers get the fearlessness to do laps at mind-boggling speed or hurtle down a hill unassisted? What about the impact of high speeds on the body day after day, or the monotony of it all? Most importantly, why do racers race? The video below explores the question. The video features racing champions from the stable of TVS Racing, the racing arm of TVS Motor Company, which recently completed 35 years of competitive racing in India. TVS Racing has competed in international rallies and races across some of the toughest terrains: Dakar, Desert Storm, India Baja, Merzouga Rally, and in innumerable national championships. Its design and engineering inputs over the years have also influenced TVS Motors' fleet in India. You can read more about TVS Racing here. This article has been produced by Scroll Brand Studio on behalf of TVS Racing and not by the Scroll editorial team.